What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Life's a Garden. I first off want to apologize for missing last week's episode. Did not put out an episode last week, which is very rare for me, but unfortunately it happened, and I do apologize. I hope you all had a great Memorial Day weekend. I did have a guest scheduled to be on last week. Things fell through, and I could sit here and, blame the guest for backing out or, things not working out. I could blame it on it being a 3-day holiday weekend. But honestly, in the end, it just came down to I didn't really feel like doing it. I had hopes that the guest would come through. I was waiting to hear back, but part of me didn't want to hear back, if that makes sense. Part of me was hoping he would cancel. And then I thought, well, I'll just do the solo podcast and we'll be fine. And I kept pushing it back until it was Monday. And I was like, I guess I'll just do one late Monday. I can talk about the Heat Celtics game, and then, we'll put it out on Tuesdays. Because sometimes I'll put a podcast out on Tuesdays if I'm late to the game. And I ended up working Monday. So it's a whole deal that, we have to work a holiday every year. At least we have 4 guys. We have 4 paid holidays that we got to work. So it was my day to work. And I got my ass kicked. So I was just exhausted. And ultimately, I decided it was just best to take a break, to take the week off from doing the podcast. It doesn't seem like a lot to put one of these out or to do this. And in some cases it's not. But there are certain weeks that it does wear. You have to set aside the time. You have to put forth the effort and the energy into creating quality content. And I would rather just not put out content than give you subpar content, if that makes sense. And so with that being said, today's opening message for all of you is it's okay to give yourself a break from time to time. Whether that's stepping aside from a project you're doing or just not allowing the weight of something to bear down on you. That can be a multitude of things. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, with this podcast, there was the pressure of needing to put it out. It's not so much pressure to create it, and I really didn't have a lot to talk about, so I was somewhat counting on the guest because it's a little easier to do guest episodes. I'm not putting any blame on the guest because, like I said, part of me just didn't want to do it at all. And so, therefore, I made the executive decision to just not do it and give myself a week's break. And that's okay. It's okay to give yourself rest or to take a break from something. To ease your mind and to take away that weight that's bearing down on you, whatever it may be. So that's my message that I want to start off with you guys, is just understand anytime you're feeling overwhelmed with whatever it is, take a break. It's good to take a break. It's good for your mental health. It's good for just to have a refresh. It's healthy for you. So don't overwhelm yourself. Allow yourself a break. And it's okay. There's nothing that you should feel bad about with that. I do feel sorry to any regular listeners that were looking forward to the podcast, but sometimes you just need to take a break, and it's okay. And I'm not gonna cry about it. You know what I mean? I'm back here doing it again. We got a good episode lined up. It's gonna be a fun week, and yeah, let's go ahead and just get right on into it. It's episode, I've missed the week, so I kind of forgot how many episodes we were on. It's episode 100 and, well, that's a good way to start it off, isn't it? We'll just end this nice intro with an interruption by the computer. It didn't matter anyway because I forgot. I don't even know what episode we're on. I having missed the week, it screwed me up. So we're going to go with it's episode 150 something of Life's a Garden. Oh yeah! Another unbelievably incredible episode underway. It's raining outside, so I don't know if that's going to fuck up with the audio, but it's been raining out here. And I'm enjoying it, to be honest, because it breaks the heat up. It's been hot as shit when I'm working. And then no, we're not even at the tip of the iceberg. Like, this is just the beginning. And I'm a little bitch when it comes to hot and cold. I hate it when it's super cold, and I hate it when it's super hot. What can I tell you? I'm a Goldilocks kind of guy when it comes to the temperature. But the rain is nice. It makes it so I don't gotta water my lawn, which, by the way, has been growing in. I got that green thumb this year. Last few years, been trying to grow some grass because it's been dead. This is the year. It's growing in. I got a nice, luscious green lawn for the first time since I've lived in this house. Kudos to me. My Hank Hill skills are coming in handy. But yeah, the rain is going. The house might get blown away. This might be the episode where it all comes crashing down. And we'll catch it live on camera for you. Just so, if you guys hear that, that's what that is. It's the rain hitting my roof and whatnot. So, thank you guys so much for joining me again. Another week in the books, minus last week. You know how it goes. Shit happens, and we move on, right? We move on. But, breaking news, not really breaking news because it's weeks after, days after the last episode where I came on and just talked the most shit about the Los Angeles Lakers, the Denver Nuggets, my Denver Nuggets, are going to the NBA Finals. And guess what? So am I. That's right. For the second time in 2 months? When was the last time I went to Denver? It was just like a month ago, maybe. For the second time in, let's say, 40 days. And the second time in these NBA playoffs, your boy will be attending the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to be there live in person to support the boys, to get that championship ring. And I'll be down there for game 2, so when this comes out, that game will be over. So you'll know how I felt about all that. Hell, I might even edit in some footage or videos from the game. Who knows? Maybe. We'll see how it happens. But either way, yes, we'll be down there for game 2 against the Miami Heat. Let me tell you right now, first and foremost, these were not cheap tickets. Spent a good amount of money. And my justification for doing so, this might be the most expensive tickets. I mean, actually, you know what? The only ticket I've ever bought more expensive than these tickets were my flights to Ireland. And I did that, and I'm doing that this year too. So we spending money out here, right? We opened up the year with an episode called Bag Alert. By the end of this year, I'm going to be doing an episode called Broke Alert, because I'm doing exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, and I'm spending it on crazy, frivolous shit. But you know what? We're all going to die one day. So why not live it up while we can? And my justification for doing so mostly is the fact that this is, in fact, the first time ever that the Denver Nuggets have been to the NBA Finals. So I will get to be a part of that, live and in person. I've been a huge supporter of this team for the last 5 to 6 years. I've been a fan longer than that, but pretty much since we've been doing well, I have been following very closely, watching every playoff game, watching as many regular season games as possible. You know me, I've been up to date. I've been sticking up, I talk a lot about the Nugs. And the fact that this is the first ever finals, I gotta be there. I gotta be there to support the boys. God, I got this weird, whistle in my throat. Dude, just earlier, I was like sitting in bed, and I sniffled. I pulled in, snot rocket, and I was like, that does not taste normal. Sure as shit, it was a big old fucking blood clot that I just sucked out of my nose. And my nose hadn't been bleeding, so I was just bleeding internally. Like, what the fuck? I'm slowly dying, so that's why I'm spending all this money. Trying to just enjoy life while I can. The other reason that I wanted to do this is because how often do you get to go see your favorite team perform in a championship game? I missed the opportunity to go do that with the Avalanche last year. I would have loved to do so. Fortunately, did not have quite the funds that I do now to be able to do such a thing. And then, I don't know that I'll ever have the opportunity to see the Broncos in a Super Bowl live. Because, relative to this, those tickets would be astronomically expensive, to the point that there's zero chance that I would ever be able to do so. So this is maybe my only opportunity to get to see my team in a championship level game. And I'm here for it. Your boy got to go see game 1 of these playoffs against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and now I'll be at game 2 of the NBA Finals cheering on the Denver Nuggets. So keep an eye out. If you're a follower, be rooting for my Nuggets for me, all right? Generally speaking, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, because God knows the last thing I want is to have egg all over my face and just to feel like a complete piece of shit. But theoretically, the Nuggets should absolutely dominate the Miami Heat. Nothing against the Heat. They're a fantastic team. They've done incredible things to get to the championship here. They beat the number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks. They beat the Knicks, who gives a shit. And then they beat the number 2 Boston Celtics. They almost blew it. It took them to a game 7. But they've overcome the odds already. So that's not to say that they couldn't do it again. Here's the thing. The Nuggets are undefeated at home. We have home court advantage. Even if Miami somehow manages to beat us at home at some point, I can't imagine that we wouldn't be able to steal one back in Miami. The Nuggets have had 9 days rest since sweeping, I might add, the Los Angeles Lakers. We've had 9 days of rest in preparation for this. It was almost certain it was going to be the Miami Heat because they were up 3-0. No team has ever come back from 3-0. I would imagine that we started kind of preparing for the Celtics toward the end there. But we've had 9 days. The Heat will have only 2 days to prepare and to rest up. And to, they just went through a 7-game grueling series with a tough Boston Celtics team. I don't know that they have nearly enough firepower. I would go ahead and say they don't have the defense. We just swept, as I previously had mentioned, we just swept the Los Angeles Lakers, who were the number 1 defense in the NBA playoffs. And the Heat don't have even closely the amount of defense that the Lakers had. So I don't know that they're going to have remotely the defense to stop us. The matchup between Bam Adebayo and Jokic is not going to be, it's going to be non-existent. Jokic is going to walk all over the guy. I think Jokic is 12-2 in head-to-heads with Adebayo. Jimmy Butler is the key for the Heat. He's going to have to do the most spectacular things in order to beat us. And I don't think that we're not going to prepare for that. I don't think that the Heat have the depth. I don't think they have the firepower, the scoring ability against our pretty good defense. Whereas I don't think they have the defense to stop us. I think it's very likely we could sweep this series. Like I said, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But the numbers just don't add up. Like, I just don't see how they can possibly beat us. And I'm sure that's what the Milwaukee Bucks said. I'm sure that's what the Boston Celtics said. You know? It would be an absolute travesty to be the number 1 seed and lose to a number 8. So, I think there's a lot of added pressure on the Nuggets to win this. Therefore, I don't think we're going to get sloppy. There's a lot of talk that, you get the 9 days rest. Does that make you rusty? I'm going to go ahead and say no, because these guys played 82 games and have played multiple playoff games. 9 days rest isn't going to make them shitty basketball players. We're in front of our home crowd, on our home court. What more can you ask for? You know what I'm saying? It's been teed up for the Denver Nuggets. And you know what? Your boy's gonna be there. Now, having this be a short notice trip, obviously it made it hard to plan things in advance. I'm going down with my buddy Gabe, who's been on the show before. Talked about Nuggets then. He has family down there, which is great, because we will have a place to stay. We won't have to pay extra for hotel. And we were planning on driving down there, which, you know me. I've been very upfront and vocal about how much I absolutely hate the drive from here to Denver. Especially because you have to drive through the state of Wyoming. And I vowed to never do it again. Now, desperate times do call for desperate measures. I already spent an exorbitant amount of money on playoff tickets. It would be very difficult to buy plane tickets on top of that. I'm going against all my rules, right? I'd be driving my own vehicle. Now, granted, I would be driving during the months that I said I would. Clearly, we would probably have decent weather unless it storms, which it probably would, knowing Wyoming. I'd be traveling with one other guy, and I'd be the one driving. So it goes against all my rules. And like I said, spent an exorbitant amount of money on these tickets. I don't know that adding plane tickets is necessarily in the cards. However, another thing you might know about me is it wouldn't make a fucking dent. Now, we actually were planning on driving. However, Gabe, the savvy lad that he is, found us some pretty cheap plane tickets. So guess what? No driving through Wyoming for me. Sticking to the plan. And I told you before, I don't give a fuck. If it costs me $100 more to fly than it would to drive, I'm in. And guess what? I'm in. We're flying down there, baby, which is going to make this trip that much nicer, easier. It's going to take a weight off of us. We're going to have more time to chill and relax and have fun. And I couldn't be happier. This was the plane tickets was even more last second of a decision. That wasn't even in the cards. And now, look at us. Look at us. Who would have thought? Not me. Not me. But here we are. Here we are. Flying to Denver. And we're going to go enjoy us a NBA playoff game. Or no, not a playoff game. An NBA Finals game. That hopefully we can come out on top with a win. I would love that. Absolutely. So, with that being said, cheers to the Denver Nuggets. Let's hope we can get it done. Hopefully by the next time I even do a podcast, we'll be champions already. And that's pretty awesome, if you ask me. It's pretty awesome. It's been a blast to be able to do things like this. I would be remiss not to mention how absolutely blessed I am, how absolutely fortunate I feel, not only to have friends that are willing to do things like this with me, but to have the means in which to do them. The time to do it, the finances to do it, and the will to do it. And I think that's a big important thing. I think it's important to mention that you have to be willing to do this. I could easily have said, no, it's too much. Or, oh no, I can't miss work. I can't miss time away from this or that. Dude, you gotta be willing to take the time, to spend the money, to enjoy the time and effort and experience. Do what you want to do, man. You gotta be willing to do it, though. I mean, how many times have you looked at something and been like, man, that would be so cool to do that. Or that would be so awesome to be there. It'd be so cool to travel there. It'd be so cool to go drive that car. Or to experience that. How many times have you sat and said that? How many times have you done it? You got to actually do those things. I plan on looking back on this year and saying that this was the best year of my life. So far, it's living up to it. Hell, if I didn't do anything else for the rest of the year, it would still be up there as one of the best years of my life. I've already done so many things that I'm like stoked about. And there's plenty more to come. So you got to be willing to make the journey and to take the time and to put forth the effort on which you have to in order to make goals and accomplishments reality. I also wanted to mention this because this was an interesting thought. For a long time, like, tough be it for the Boston Celtics. I personally kind of wanted it to be the Celtics, even though the Nuggets weren't going to get home court advantage. I wanted it to be the Celtics because I felt like that would legitimize us winning the title more. I thought, them being the 2 seed, they'd have the home court advantage. They're a historic franchise. We would have beaten the Lakers and the Celtics in the same playoffs. I think the Celtics do have more depth. They have more firepower. I think, and this is no disrespect to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is him. Jimmy Butler is a fucking animal. And I respect what he's done to get these guys as far as they have. I just think that the Celtics, majority speaking, have more guys that are capable of beating the Nuggets. And I just think for us to go ahead and play the Celtics and win would have been a more legit, like that. People would look back in history and say, yeah, they earned that. Or yeah, that was a huge win. Now, they're going to look at it like, oh, the Nuggets beat a number 8 seed. Granted, this is an 8 seed that beat a number 1 seed and a number 2 seed. So, they're clearly better than their seed shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're clearly better than an 8 seed. But history won't look at it that way. Whereas, they would look at it as a number 1 versus a number 2. And then if we beat the number 2, we win. If we lose to a number, if we beat the number 1, or number 2, sorry, it looks good on us. If we lose to a number 8, that looks horrible. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that matchup was going to be it'd be a little more exciting too. I think you're going to get more fanfare in all that. We'd get a little bit more media coverage with the Celtics involved. But it is what it is. And I actually saw an interesting stat too that was saying that Denver and Miami have a long running history where the Broncos won a Super Bowl in Miami. One of our Super Bowls, I think it was our second Super Bowl, was won in Miami. The Colorado Avalanche first Stanley Cup was against the Florida Panthers. And I think something about the Colorado Buff beating the Miami Hurricanes in a bowl game or something like that. Like maybe the Buffs' first ever bowl game. It was an interesting stat about like the dynamic between Denver and Miami and how this is destiny for us to defeat Miami in the Nuggets' first ever championship run. But the other thing I wanted to say too was with Boston, for a long time, a very long time, I have stated that Boston fans are the most, what's the word I'm looking for? They are the most blessed fan base, I should say, or the most, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess blessed. We'll go with blessed. Like they're a. I always say it too, and of course now that I'm trying to say it on air, I'm blanking on the word. Fuck. Blessed. We'll go with blessed. Fuck it. That they've, spoiled. Yeah, he did it. He reached into the depths of his fucking idiot brain and found the word spoiled. Out of the ether, he reaches in to the abyss that is his cranium. And in his search, found the word spoiled. The Boston Celtics, I have said for a very long time, are the most, or not, excuse me, now I fucked it up again. The city of Boston, Massachusetts, I have said, is the most spoiled fan base in all of sports. Let's reflect on that. You got the New England Patriots, who were a dynasty, who won, so many championships with Tom Brady and went to 9, I think. I think historically they've been to 10. It's either 9 or 10 total. And won 6. Then you add the Celtics, who have, I think, 11. It's either 11 or 17. It's some crazy number of NBA titles. And been to many more. The Celtics were there last year and lost, but they were there last year. They've been to several championships. And then you have the Bruins, who have won multiple titles. You have the Red Sox, who were cursed for a long time, but now, recently, they've been very good. However, I think it's time for me to retract that statement. Because if you look in the last several years, they have not been as spoiled. As a matter of fact, I might go so far to say that I'm beginning to get spoiled as a Denver fan. Now, none of our teams have been dynasties, so to say, but I've been very fortunate in the fact that I got to see the Denver Broncos win a Super Bowl. It's been almost 10 years now, but I got to see that. The Avalanche just won the Stanley Cup, and now the Nuggets are on the brink of winning their first NBA title. So, I feel very fortunate. I don't think I'd use this word spoiled just yet. But if you look back in the last few years at Boston, they were the Boston Bruins were the number 1 seed. They lost to the number 8 Panthers, which, by the way, is another weird coincidence that the Panthers and the Heat, both number 8 seeds, are in the championships against respective number 1s. Very interesting. That aside, Boston has suffered a lot of harsh defeats these last few years. So while I have zero sympathy to them because fuck Boston sports, I think their title of being spoiled is starting to fade. They've definitely had to take their lumps. Again, not apologetic about it. I don't feel an ounce of remorse about it. But they certainly aren't spoiled anymore. They've had to face quite a few hardships, and I'm here for it. Anyway, that was a lot of talk about the Denver Nuggets. And do I apologize? Fuck no. Because we bounced around on different topics and talked about different things. It was a lot of sports talk, but it is what it is. I'm a passionate fan. What can I say? Gulp. Anyway, I do also want to apologize to you guys for showing up to this episode fairly unrecognizable. And that's somewhat on me, but it's mostly on the person that gave me this absolute fucked up beard trim. Now, I thought my days of bad haircuts was over. I gave up on that. I thought I had made sure my days of having bad haircuts had come to an end when I decided to shave my head. Turns out I was wrong. So the lady that normally trims my beard, because yes, I do go to a barber because I'm not an animal. I'm also not that talented that I can just shave my beard to where it looks real nice. So yes, I go to a barber because I'm sophisticated. And I like to get it nice and trimmed up, shaped up, get some of those wild ones taken out. Looking nice, you know? Go about once a month, give or take. Looking nice. Get nice and cleaned up. And then you get somebody that can actually look and make sure everything's nice and proportionate and not, you know, angles that I can't normally see. And I had a gal for that. Well, she moved away. She went and broke my heart and moved away. On to bigger and better things, something like that. Like, I don't understand what could be bigger and better than shaving my beard, okay? I just don't understand. But we wish her well. We wish her the best, and I'm glad that she is moved on to bigger and better things, I guess. Because she certainly didn't do me any fucking favors. I went back to the barbershop because I am a loyal customer. Regardless of the fact that my particular barber was not there, I'm still a loyal customer. Okay? So I go back to my barbershop, which will remain nameless at this point because I'm absolutely giving them a terrible review. I'm not even giving them a terrible review because guess what? Regardless of this incident, I will be back. I will be back because, again, loyal. Loyalty is my middle name. Dakota Timothy Loyal Craig. And who I'm shitting on here is the particular person that gave me such hack job, who will remain nameless, mostly because I never got her name. I can see why she doesn't want to give out her name, considering her line of work, or the product that she puts out there into the world. I assume when you work at a place that specializes in men's hair, you'd know how to cut a beard, right? I thought maybe. Most people there know. Because I've had other people there that weren't my main gal trim up my beard and do a good job. So I sit down. Normally what I like to do, and you've seen how I look normally. I like to just take it down a little bit. Not super short. Just clean it up, keep the same shape. I'll get the mustache, and we're good. It's an easy peasy job. You get a $5 tip on a $10, you know, I'm a good tipper. Because no dents. So I walk into this place. I get sat down. Random person, never met him before. Never even seen him in there before. First time I ever seen him. Tell her what I want. I'm not I'm not vague in my descriptions. I'm very much, especially when I've never met you, I'm going to tell you what I want. I'm not vague. I'm particular. I like things a certain way. I like to look a certain way. So I line out the details of what I'm looking for. Just looking for a little trim. Just want to clean it up a little bit. Keep the shape. We'll trim it up. We'll just give it a nice little, get some of these wild ones out of here. Simple. Basic shit. First thing she does is takes a guard, like a 4-inch guard, to my fucking beard. Well, I have one of those. I could have done that. She takes it and just completely chops off 85% of my beard. And then proceeds, so that's one thing, doesn't make this any shorter, because if you know anything about beards, you want this portion to be a little longer, and this portion to kind of like scoop down and be a little shorter. No, I had to come home and make this part a little shorter, because it was the same length. Do I look like Abraham Lincoln? Do I look like an Amish fella? What are we doing? Then proceeds to line out like this, which I never do. I like it to swoop in like this, so it connects to the mustache. I don't want it to go boom, boom, like that. She went ahead and just did that. And then made these big, like she shaved out into this area, which I don't like that. Didn't ask me about any of this, just went ahead and was just like, nah, this will be my guinea pig for the day. I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want. And on top of it, blew up one of my fucking sideburns. I know you can't see on camera, but just one of them. She's like, yeah, I went ahead and just faded those in. I was like, faded it? You fucking just gouged half my fucking sideburn off. And this one was normal. Needless to say, I haven't had a bad hair day. I haven't had a bad haircut in a long ass time. Clearly, I keep my head short. Now I don't even have hair. I thought this problem was done. Dead in the water. And boy, oh boy, was I fucking wrong. And to say that, you know what? It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. A bad haircut will absolutely ruin your fucking day. I'm not even joking with you. I almost stopped everything I was doing. It was the first thing I did that day. It was on Saturday, Memorial Day weekend. It was the first thing I did. And then almost completely stopped my... You know what? If I'm being honest, that's why I didn't do the podcast. Just kidding. That's, of course, not the real reason why. But it really did almost stop me from doing everything that day. I was about to just go home and just stay home. I was just so pissed. But I ended up going and taking care of my other shit, because you can't let a bad haircut ruin your fucking day, even though it easily could. I understand it now when people get pissed over a bad haircut. I was this close to just being like, just fucking shave it all off. Just shave the whole fucking thing off. Because guess what? I don't even get that luxury anymore. Because if I do that, then I'll just look like a fucking penis head. Because I got the shaved head. What, am I just going to be a bunch of walking eyebrows up in here? No. Can't just be a set of eyebrows walking around. You got to have something. What am I going to do? The mustache? I'll be a fucking pedophile. I got to go to Denver looking like this. You think I'm going to go to Denver looking like a fucking pedophile? Absolutely not. So I had to leave. I had to just keep this atrocity of a beard. Because I didn't have any options. I guess I could have gone with the goatee. I could have done that. No. But guess what? I couldn't do the goatee because she fucking took it away. She shaved into this, so I couldn't. Now I can't connect the fucking mustache and the beard. Otherwise, it's gonna be way the fuck out here like an idiot. Can you tell I'm stoked about this? Can you tell that I'm like so happy that this happened? God damn it. Reliving this is making my blood boil. Jesus. I might just start doing it myself. God, if I just knew all I had to do was take a fucking guard to my beard, I wouldn't spend the $10. I would just do it my fucking self. People. Yeah, well, I did in fact inform my old barber. I said, look what you've done to me. I said, look what the fuck you've done to me by going and improving your life. By going out and improving your life and doing things to help better you, you have in turn made my life an absolute living hell. Because now I got Sasquatch out here fucking shaving my beard like it owes her money. I didn't actually say that. I am, in fact, happy for her. But I did tell her, I was like, look at this shit. Like, this is what happens when you leave. Like, this is what happens when I don't have you around to do the job correctly. And she was not happy either. Because I didn't even have to point out all the mistakes. She knows what my beard's supposed to look like. So she referred me to another girl who I will, from now on, only be going to exclusively unless she butchers it too. So she's got a lot of pressure on her now. I'm going to tell her too, I'm going to like, listen, this is make or break it for you. If you fuck this up, I'm done. I may just kill myself. So I'm going to add that pressure to her too. If you fuck this up, you might not only be ending my relationship with this place, you'll be ending my life. No pressure though. Snip, snip. Oh boy. Anyway. I'll get over it because as Bill Dotrieve once said, it will grow back. And it is the truth. I just gotta live with it for a little while. But it will grow back. We are now officially in Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, everybody. And I do mean that. Like, I have no issue with gay people at all. Granted, I don't know a ton of them, but the ones I've met, I've enjoyed them. Like, my issue has, like, anytime I've ever talked about Pride Month, it's always with this very, kind of disgustful manner. And when I do so, I don't want it to be a reflection on the people that Pride Month represents, okay? I have no ill will toward the LGBTQ community. I do think some portions of that LGBTQ XYZ NW6, and Nintendo 64, NWO, I have zero ill will to any of them. I think that some of them are a little out there, and some of the ideas are a little wacky. But still, even the ones that I disagree with and think are a little out there, I wish no ill will to them. My issue with Pride Month comes simply to the corporations. It comes to the corporations and the media. That is where, because I hate shills. I hate people who will just bow down to any such thing because they think it's going to make them money. And that's exactly what happens. Every Pride Month, every single corporation, every sports team, every, whatever, whoever they are, any corporate entity goes all out, changes their logo to the rainbow, and I understand, to show support. I get why I get it, but they don't give a fuck. It has nothing to do with that. It has Only everything to do with trying to make money, trying to please people, trying to make sure they're not enemy number one. Because now what's happened, it's not even about trying to get the LGBTQ community to purchase their products or be involved in their dealings or whatever it is, their entity. It has nothing to do with that. It has more to do with the fact that they're afraid that if they don't do it, that they'll be ousted and they'll be targeted. It will be interesting to see, based on what happened with Bud Light this year, it's going to be very interesting to see how all these other corporations decide to lean into this. It could go one of two ways. Either Bud Light is going to come out on top from all this, because now everybody's going to be back doing this shit, and they might go the other direction. Like, I think they're doing a camo can now. They might just go the opposite direction, be the only ones not doing it, which might just end up backfiring on them again, or they'll bounce back. Now, the other thing is, maybe these corporations decide to not go so heavy because of the clear fucking debacle that happened with Bud Light. So that'll actually be very interesting to see, like, which corporations decide they're going to stick to their guns and continue to do the rainbow logos, or if they decide they're going to take a back seat and not follow suit with the Bud Light thing. And then I was going to say this too. Out of all these corporations that got ahead of the game, Apple. Give it up to Apple. They were the first to do the LGBTQ logo change, because the retro logo is, if you don't remember right, it's the apple that's all rainbowed out. So all they got to do is be like, oh, we're just doing a retro logo. This has nothing to do with gay pride. It's a retro logo. And then Skittles, who had it in the bag, their Taste the Rainbow. Skittles should be the spokes corporation for the month of June. And yet they went the other direction. They were like, oh, no. We're going to go black and white for some fucking reason. They did black and white. I don't even remember what their actual like marketing campaign for that was. I'm like, you idiots. You had a fucking cash cow in front of you. You should be leaning into this shit. You know who's not going to change their logos? Chick-fil-A. And Hobby Lobby. Oh, man. In all seriousness, though, Happy Pride Month to those of you that do celebrate. I think it gets a little bit extravagant from time to time. But it's not my culture to shit on. It's not my culture to try and think that I should understand all of it. I don't, because I'm not part of it. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I do and that I should. So for all of you out there who do celebrate and who are, engulfed in that culture, Happy Pride Month to you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you celebrate. I hope you get what you are hoping to get out of it, I guess, is the best way I can. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Happy Pride Month. There you go. Just don't go out on the streets dressed in fucking leather and doing all that shit. Like, go to the parade, do all that. I don't need you in a gimp suit, okay? That's a little far. I don't want to see somebody in a gimp suit any time of the day or year or anything. Only in the bedroom do I want to see a guy in a gimp suit. Other than that, we don't got to do that. We don't got to do that in the streets, right? Wave the flags, do your dances and walk around. Enjoy the parade. But leave the gimp suit at home, okay? That's all I'm saying. Those parades get a little crazy sometimes. Alrighty. Oh, I just mention this too, just because I did talk about the Pride Month. Lady Gaga, if there was ever an advocate for Pride and for LGBTQ, Lady Gaga is the person. She is all up in there, and she's just she's all inclusive, really. And I've always loved Lady Gaga. Like, I thought her music was fantastic. I think she's a great performer, a great musician. And there's always been a comparison between her and Madonna, right? Have you seen Madonna lately? She's absolutely fucking nuts. She's unrecognizable, both in her looks and in her behavior. She has flown the coop, okay? She's out of the nest. And Lady Gaga is following suit. I can't even explain. She's so beyond, like, I've seen so many videos of her being so beyond out of control, just the way she was like crying about having to cancel a show, and it was so clearly fake. She's just, I want the safety of our fans, and I'm so sorry. It's like the fakest shit. She's one of those people, like many celebrities. I'm not just going to point out her, but I am going to point out her now. But this should go without saying that other celebrities are very much guilty of this too. She is one of those people who has an immense God complex. I mean, when you got people all the time being like, oh, you're so wonderful. Oh, you're so beautiful. What can I get you? What can I do for you? You're my queen. Just praising you with absolute, just at their knees for you at all times of the day, at your beck and call, constantly feeding you, positive messages and feeding you with praise. You're gonna gain a God complex at some point. You're gonna believe that you're just the Almighty. Now, I want to say this. She is not a good actress. While I do enjoy her singing, while I do enjoy her performing, she is not a good actress. And she's playing Harley Quinn in the next Joker movie, which actually might be a great casting considering how fucking nuts she is. So we'll see. Maybe this will be her like golden role since The Song, or whatever that movie was with Bradley Cooper. That apparently, I mean, the only reason that was a good role for her is because she was singing in it, because that's what she does. House of Gucci fucking sucked. That was absolutely atrocious. But anyway, I did want to say this. If Lady Gaga truly would like to be an advocate for the LGBTQ community, wouldn't she have to go ahead and just rename herself They Gaga? Hey, I'm They Gaga. No more Lady Gaga. I'm non-binary Gaga. Like, how dare you assume that she's a lady? How dare you assume gender is even a thing? We have to use these bland terms now. Non-binary Gaga. I kind of want that to be the name of the episode now. I had a couple other names in mind, but non-binary Gaga is a pretty fucking funny title. Dude, you know what? Fuck it. That's the name of the title. That's the name of the episode. Or They Gaga. I don't know if it should be They Gaga or non-binary Gaga. I kind of like them both, because this episode will come out during Pride Month, even though it's the last day of. I'm currently filming this on the last day of March, or May, so tomorrow will be Pride Month. All right, I'm gonna end it with this. Okay, I'm gonna give you one last little gem that I thought was pretty funny. I saw these dudes talking about this, and it was just too good to not repeat. Because I've talked about Rocky Balboa before, and how the first movie is just an absolute... It's a classic, but it's very outdated, very difficult to watch. The dialogue in it is rough. The interactions of the characters, the character development itself is pretty lackluster. And I remember talking about a specific scene in which Rocky Balboa pretty much barricades Adrian in his room and in his house and won't let her leave and is forcing himself upon her. Now I heard a different take on this scene, a very different breakdown, and it indicates that Rocky Balboa is autistic. And it makes so much sense. I mean, the way he talks, the way he's, every other word is, you know. And in that particular scene, he is the most socially awkward human on the planet. He's all like, Adrian, look at my turtles. But you want to come look at the turtles? He's trying to show her these fucking turtles. And then he barricades the door and he's like, I want to kiss you. Adrian, look at these turtles. Look at them. But also, I wouldn't mind kissing you. It's like I said, the awkwardness, the socially awkward aspect of it all. Plus, he's able to take a hit. He's the wildest. He can take the wildest punches from these big Russian motherfuckers. He's got that retard strength, dude. It all makes sense. Rocky Balboa is fully autistic. And I'm running with it. I wish I had the bigger breakdown than that, but I just thought that was the funniest shit I've seen in a minute. And so, there you have it, folks. Rocky Balboa. Fully R-worded. Like a duck. He's ducking out up in here. Duck and weave, baby. Duck and weave. Rocky. Alright, folks. That's going to be it for this week. I do appreciate you very much. Go forth and put yourself out there to make the effort. Make the effort to get the things done that you want to get done. Make the effort to experience the things that you've always wanted to do. Little steps even. You can just do it little by little toward your goals and toward doing experiences, going places, having fun, Don't say I want to do that. Just do that. Go Nuggets, baby. Support my Nuggets. Be watching, cheering them on. Just know that I'll be there, enjoying the game. And happy Pride Month to all. Fucking bad haircuts ruin a day. They really can. But you got to give yourself a break. Don't forget to give yourself a break. When life starts getting tough, when life starts getting overwhelming, just take a step back. Take a breath. Give yourself time. And it'll all come back together. Because, as we know, life's a garden. Dig it. Just gotta